Welcome back. We have a few different people on our podcast today. We got a couple of special guests, Jill and Meredith, two teachers that are best friends, at least gym best friends. I don't know about outside of the gym, but anyways, in the gym, they're best friends at 5 a.m. and also work together and have went through our 12-week transformation program over the last 8 months, I guess. You guys went through it 8 months ago, last August and September. Mm-hmm. So you guys joined about the same time or started the same time. So we're excited just to have you on and discuss your guys' journey and give us some insight on how it went. And hopefully you guys can share some of your knowledge and hopefully help somebody else that's listening pick up things that you did or things that you thought about or the way you view things being differently now than before. And hopefully help somebody else make a good decision or have a different perspective on their journey. So
thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
So welcome. And so like I said, we don't have anything scripted. We're just going to roll with it. It's just a conversation. So we're just going to see where it goes today. And let's just get it kicked off. So Meredith, I'll start with you. We've known each other for a long time. Mm-hmm. Meredith has been a member of the gym for how long?
4 years now, I believe.
Okay. So 4 years, a few off and ons in there.
Yes.
But you came back this past August in 2023 and decided that you wanted to do our transformation program.
Correct. I saw the Facebook post about Joe and I read his story and then I reread his story and I said, this is what I've been waiting for. Like, I know that this is going to be for me. And so when I reached out to you, I asked if I could come in and have a conversation with you. And I came in. And by the time I left, I knew that I had made the right choice by reaching out, because reaching out, I feel, is always the hardest part. And coming into the gym and getting your foot in the door. And I am just so glad that I did that and that I just took the first leap, I guess, and then I just went for it.
Sure. Which is great. And, I'm thankful that you did, because I think this was the perfect thing that you needed a long time ago that we just didn't have it. We just didn't have it yet. And you could have used it, wish we would have had it, a couple of years before, but time and place for everything.
Right.
So, for those, let's just kind of get into your story and what changes have actually happened for you.
Okay. So, I had been working out for years. And before I worked out at Pulse, I had worked out at another gym in Highland, and I would see amazing results, immediately, but it was very hard to maintain. I wasn't given the tools to learn how to maintain, how to keep the weight off, how to continue doing the exercises that I needed to do. I felt like once I reached my goal, once I hit that goal, I was just kind of on my own and I needed to figure things out on my own. So I would just give up. I would say, okay, well, I did that once and now I'm kind of over it. So then I would do nothing for years. And then I would wake up in the morning, certain days, and I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, I can't stand the way that I look. I can't stand the way that I feel, but I wouldn't necessarily do anything about it. So one day when I was talking to a friend who worked out at Pulse at the time, she said, funny that you bring this up to me, because I was just given a 1 month free certificate that I could give to anyone that they could come and try the gym for 1 month for free. And she said, here you go. This is for you. And I walked in, I tried it for my month, and I absolutely loved it. And I just looked forward to going to the gym. I loved the people that I worked out with. I just knew that it was the right place for me.
Yeah. And even with that, though, still over a couple of years, there were still some times where you would take a little break or, take some time off. So what was the cause of that? If you don't mind sharing.
So my back, at one point, started hurting, started bothering me. It wasn't necessarily anything that I did at the gym. I just literally believe that it was something that I did at home. And so I would make any excuse to be like, I can't work out today because, my back hurts and I'm just going to hurt it. I'm just going to hurt myself more than what I already feel. And so I would stop coming, and then I would get mad, and then I'd reach back out to Jeff and be like, I'm going to come back. And then all of a sudden my kids' schedules would get in the way of things. And then I'm like, well, I can't come now because, I have to go to this game, and I wasn't making time for myself. And then I would get frustrated all over again. And so then I would stop. And then at one point, I believe we kind of had a conversation maybe, or you might have texted me saying maybe you need to just kind of take a little bit of a break, because I was struggling to get myself in there, because I really didn't want to go at 5 a.m. because I wasn't a morning person. I was coming at 3:30. Yes, I was coming in at 3:30. And by the time I would get done working, I would be tired and I wouldn't feel like I had the energy to go. Now I have to go work out for an hour. So I would just make up excuses. There's no excuse for it, but I did.
Okay. Just okay. So now that leads us to what's different this time. Because this time it seems 100% different. Mm-hmm. Everything about you, your demeanor, excitement to be in there, your energy when you're in there, opposed to almost feeling just like it was very forced before, to now maybe looking forward to it a little bit. I don't want to say totally because it's still 5 a.m.
Yeah, it is still 5 a.m. I'm still going at 5 a.m. in the summer. But I believe the thing that's different for me this time around is I realized how much I needed to continue to work out. I needed to change my eating habits because I was once again looking at myself in the mirror and not liking what I was seeing. And so I was like, this is it. You have to stick with this, and we are going to make the best of it. And then it's really helped having Jill start along and join at 5 a.m. too, because we are really holding ourselves accountable. We're, keeping each other on track. And so having a friend to work out with really does help.
It definitely can. So just a little caveat to that. So friends can be your own very best friend, or you can be each other's own worst enemies. And when I say enemies, I mean like sometimes when friends do stuff for accountability and one says, oh, I'm not going to make it today, the other one says, well, if they're not going, I don't have to go. Where you guys are the very opposite. Even if one of you is not there, the other one's still there, but you're also encouraging, versus sometimes friends kind of almost want to pull the other way and say, oh, you're not going today? Good. Because I didn't want to go either. And that mentality can really kind of be the negative side of having an accountability partner. So it can go really both ways. I've seen it go both ways several times. So make sure, if you are going to have an accountability partner, make sure it's one where they're going to bring out the best in you and not potentially drag you down with them.
Yeah. Good point. I agree. Mm-hmm.
So Meredith, where are you at? Weight wise, have you even stepped on the scale in the last 6 months?
I have stepped on the scale, just because I went to the doctor last week and she made me get on the scale, which I was fine with, because I was actually shocked that I had gone down 3 more pounds when I thought I went up at least 5 pounds. So I was very, very proud of myself for that. So I haven't really talked much about my weight to anyone really, but I am happy to say that I am down 27 pounds as of last week.
That's awesome. And I had no idea what the number was, because this is one of my favorite parts about your story is, it started as a weight loss thing, and halfway through, we decided that actually wasn't the path that we were ready to take. We were ready to kick the scale because it was too stressful. It was too consuming, too obsessive.
Yes.
And it just needed to go, and we just needed to focus on what are the things that I need to do that make me happy, that make me feel good. And if I do those things for long enough, my body's going to change in the way that I want it to if I do those things. And for you to wrap your head around that and to totally commit, because that is a really, really hard thing for a lot of people to do. But when they do, it's such an amazing thing to see happen, because now you truly know what feeling better actually means.
I completely agree, because I was stressed out about the number. I wanted to see the number all the time. And for me, when I stepped on the scale for the first time, when I started the program, I saw that number and I knew that number is not okay. That number is not good for me. And so then I said, okay, I'm not going to worry about the scale anymore, because Jeff and I had talked about it, and the scale is not your friend. And so I just put it to where I wouldn't even see it anymore in my bathroom. And I'm so glad that I did that, because then I didn't worry about that. I didn't stress about that, about the number anymore. I went by how I felt, how my clothes felt. People telling me, oh my gosh, you look so good. How much weight have you lost? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't know, because I haven't weighed myself. What do you mean you haven't weighed yourself? I'm like, I don't get on the scale and weigh myself like I used to do every single morning, because there's no need to do that. So when I stepped on the scale, now I'm not saying I haven't been on the scale for the last 6 months. That's not true. I have kept a little bit of a log, because I wanted to see what I was losing. I wanted to, make sure I was doing it. I could tell I was doing it, but I wanted to actually see the number again for myself. So, like I said, last week when I went to the doctor and I stepped on the scale, I was like shocked. I was like, I can't believe I'm maintaining. And that for me is huge, because I've never been taught the tools on how to maintain properly. And I am 100% sure and positive that I now know how to maintain and how to do it correctly.
Which is amazing, and I would totally agree, because we're really getting close to the 1 year mark. And once people make it through a full cycle of the year, now you know how to handle everything that's going to get thrown at you. You still have kids' schedule, you still have basketball games, you still have the darkness of winter that you know that you can make it through. You have, everything that, a year can throw at you, the 4 seasons that we really have here. They're all very different. And just because you can navigate one doesn't mean you can navigate them all. And now that you've shown that you can navigate them all, now the confidence should be at an all-time high that you do have this shit and you're good. And there is no going back.
Yeah, I feel very confident now. And I just want everyone to feel the same way that I'm feeling. And I feel like I don't want to preach it per se, but I love when I can be like, hey, Jill, you got to try this. You're going to love it. I love it, So for me, I just want everyone to be able to know that you can do it. It is very hard in the beginning. It's uncomfortable in the beginning, but you get through that small little portion of that time, and then you just don't look back. You just go. You just take off and go with it.
And just kind of one more question that I have for you, and then I'll let Jessica ask any that she has, is does this feel hard anymore?
It does not feel hard anymore, because it's an everyday, it's routine. It's part of my everyday routine that I do now.
Which is
I don't even have to think about things. I don't have to worry about things anymore. I just do it.
And there's no better response that I can get from somebody than that, to hear that that's where they're at in their life, is that they're just living the life that you set out to live. Like this, all the things you're doing are all things you chose. I didn't tell you to do anything. You chose all these things, and now that you're doing them without having to think about it and it becoming easy and being happy, like, does it get any better than that? Not for me anyways. So, Jessica, what do you got for Meredith?
Okay, well, you asked a lot of the questions that I was going to ask.
Sorry.
So, no, that's okay.
I hijacked this thing.
We were all in it. It's good. It's powerful. I love listening to people's journeys. I guess my biggest question right now would be the difference between your mindset before you started and now. Can you walk us through a little bit of that journey?
So my mindset before I started, I was very hard on myself. I didn't like myself. I could tell everyone in the room around me how amazing they were, and I could give them awesome advice, which I think is awesome. I don't know if it's awesome, but I could tell all of these people, all of these things that I wanted someone else to just say to me, but I couldn't say it to myself. And so going through this and learning a little bit about myself this past year has just really opened my eyes, and I'm seeing things a lot more clearly. My thought process about things is different. I am happy in my own skin now, and I just feel like I want to learn more. Like, I'm constantly looking at self-help books. I'm looking at other things that I can read that helps me just kind of maintain, like the word mindset. I'm really into that now. And so I guess trying to figure out, how do I keep this feeling going? How to share it with others without coming across as being like, whoa, where's she coming from now? But, I just feel like teaching others how to do it themselves and to see positiveness and things, just goodness come out of other people, I think it just makes me super, super happy.
Well, I know by trade that at school you do teach, but I think when there's a difference, right? When you are talking about your journey, you're communicating. You're not as much teaching and trying to force people to go try it. You're just communicating and sharing your journey. So there's a big difference. You're not forcing it. You're sharing, and people love listening to it. Okay. And that's why you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
So thanks for answering that question.
Thank you.
Yeah, so many people are going to relate to your story, and we're going to get a ton of good feedback from what you have to say today. And
I hope so.
And from your counterpart.
Yeah. So many things.
Yeah.
You're so many things to Mare.
Jill, it's your turn. You've just been sitting over there hanging tight, waiting your turn. Well, first, do you have anything you want to add about Meredith, or any questions you have for Meredith? It can be a no. It's okay. I'm putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot. No, not really. I'm just appreciative for her friendship and for getting me to come to Pulse. And if it wouldn't have been for Meredith, I wouldn't be where I am today and feeling great and doing the things I'm doing now.
Awesome. So let's get into your story. And
I want to attest to that before you even start this.
Oh, okay.
Because I can remember with working with Jill and Meredith for a long time, when I would walk into Jill's classroom every morning at about 8:00 with my big old iced coffee, and I had already been up for 4 hours. And she would say, "Spezio, you're insane. I will never work out in the morning, and I will never go to a gym. I've never been to a gym. I can't do it. I'll never do it." And she would just talk about it for hours, how she couldn't, how she wouldn't.
And now I'm eating those words.
And now you are. You're eating them for breakfast.
I am. Yes.
You hadn't tried
True
yet.
story.
Mm-hmm. So, this is exciting because now we have another awesome story that we get to hear from Jill. And somebody who said never worked out a day in their life, had no interest,
And thinking back on that, that's pretty embarrassing. I mean, really. And talk about gym anxiety. That was me right there.
Yeah.
Not ever, being there or doing all that. Like, you'll tell me to do something. I'm like, what is that? I need to see that. Like, and sometimes, I'm a visual. So I'm like, okay, do that again. Because,
The good thing,
it's different.
well, I'm trying to learn when she's got the most confusing facial expressions ever. She is the hardest book to read that I've ever worked with.
I know what every single face means.
Still learning. Most people I can tell when they're confused and stuff. And you're good.
I am.
I think it's good that you shared that you had never been to a gym before, or that I shared that for you.
Yeah,
because
fine.
there's a lot of people in this town that have never worked out, never been to a gym, never been for a run, never been for a hike. So you'll inspire every single one of those people.
Yay.
Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing up gym anxiety. We want to keep talking about that because it's way more popular than we know. Mm-hmm. It's the number one reason why anybody isn't at a gym. Everybody wants to be a part of something physical in some way. I truly believe that. And that's the number one thing holding them back is that fear of walking in the door somewhere. So the more people that say they have it, the more comfortable people are going to be like, yeah, that is me too. Mm-hmm. And it'll help somebody overcome that. So thanks for sharing that. Now let's get into your story because you came in and we had one thing in our mind. What was that?
Well, it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
I had my yearly checkup with my doctor and she was like, you've gained like 25 pounds, about 25 pounds. And when I heard that and saw that, I was shocked. I mean, I was shocked, but I wasn't really because I wasn't happy with how clothes were fitting and how things were happening. And like Meredith said, you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not good. And so what do? I complained. How many times did I text you or talk to you? I'm like, I just got back from the doctor. I've gained all this weight, blah, 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 blah. And we would talk. We're like, oh, let's go for walks. Let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't until I think school started, wasn't it? Yep. School had started.
School had just started.
Still talking about, I've got all this extra weight. And Meredith said, well, I go to Pulse. I see Jeff. Do you want me to reach out to him and see, if you want to go through this 12-week transformation program? And I said, okay, not really thinking that it was going to like transpire and just happen like boom, boom, boom. Like she got a hold of Jeff and then all of a sudden I'm getting all these texts through class. And I'm like, okay, can't talk to him now. Can't. And we were playing like phone tag or text tag or whatever you want to call it. Throughout the day, he said, let's go ahead and meet. So I met with Jeff and we talked a little bit. And then he's like, okay, so am I going to see you? It was like the next day or the day after, whatever it was like within a day or two. And it was like, why was I shocked?
Whoa.
I'm like, because once again, the whole gym anxiety, and I flat out told him too, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like you have to do the gym 101, like whatever for dummies because I'm clueless. So if it hadn't have been for her and him being so like on the ball persistent, I probably would still be dragging my feet and complaining, gosh, I'm so fat, and all of that stuff. And I'm so thankful and grateful that they pushed and they didn't really give me a chance to think about it and respond.
Yeah, I was prepared for a big no. I was prepared for a no that day because it was the first day that I mentioned it to her. Mm-hmm. And I said, how about I reach out to Jeff and see if he'll reach out to you? She said, okay. And literally within 15 seconds, I was texting Jeff, hey, can you reach out to my friend Jill? If you would have said no,
I didn't think she was going to do it.
I did it. Oh, I did it.
She did it. Yeah.
And if you wouldn't have done it that day, I was going to do it again the next day.
Yeah.
And the next day and the next day because I knew you had it in you.
And it was the best thing. It was the best thing.
And let's just go back to what you were, that one thing that you were after when you started. I just got to lose this weight.
Yes.
That's the only thing.
Yes.
That we could.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that mattered. at the time.
And let me tell you, it sucked. Like I'm on these cords right now. I went in 5 a.m. So one, I am not a morning person.
You
at
weren't
all.
a morning
No,
person.
I was not.
You are.
I am. I'm there
You are
5 in the morning, and still with my summers off, I'm 5 in the morning unless I'm at a baseball tournament. But I'm there in the morning, so that right there is a big hurdle because I don't get up. I don't like.
You do
get up.
I do though. So that was one thing, and so then I've been getting my butt up so early in the morning, working out, doing this, really watching what I've been eating, writing things down. I, do the whole thing, and I'm not losing. So I keep working harder, write everything down, watch what I eat, track my calories, which by the way, I did not like doing. The tracking the calories is not fun, but it works. And I agree.
It's important. And, let's go over the reason why we were tracking your calories. And it's not because you were overeating.
Right.
So we're tracking because we were undereating. And this was a real hard concept for you to grasp and buy into, that I have to eat more to lose this weight that I'm looking
Which
to
sounds
lose.
stupid, but it's true. Yeah.
And like I said, we're 8 weeks in and the needle hasn't moved. And
anything, I was gaining.
Yeah, actually,
Like
you did gain a couple
I gained.
pounds. Yeah.
And that's what really made me mad. I'm like, I am getting up early. I've never done this before, workout. I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm doing everything, and I'm gaining weight. I about lost it.
And
I was done.
So while I hate that for you, I love that part of your story and being able to explain it here, because guess what? You aren't alone. You're not.
Nope.
So many people have went through this same struggle, and we've watched it. I've watched it happen hundreds of times, and I see it happening everywhere. Is people think, if I move more and I eat less, how the hell am I not going to lose weight? And this is what happens is when people eat too little, it's what we call the frustration zone. And you can see how frustrated Jill was.
I was very. I came to your office. I'm like, I was about ready to throw in the towel.
I'm amazed. I kept her on the ledge.
Yeah.
And kept her coming, honestly, because I was like, man, if this doesn't
and
change
you can't
soon,
read my face, so you thought
she's going to bail on me. And we kept just saying, I don't know how many times I told you to just trust me. But if you eat more, I promise it's going to happen. And that's why we started logging. I know it sucks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like to do it, but that's 90% of the reason we have people log at the gym, is to make sure they're eating enough food. And like I said, this is such an important part of the story, and so many people need to hear this. And I'm passionate about it because I see it all the time, and it's the hardest thing for me to work through with people, is that there is a certain amount of food that we have to have. And once you found it, and once we got the train moving, it hasn't stopped.
No.
And you get to eat more, which is awesome.
Right. All good, all good things.
Yeah. So like I said, it took probably 10 weeks actually before you were actually in the negative.
Right.
I think.
It was, it took a while, a long while.
But in the big picture, 10 weeks still isn't even that long. It just feels long in the moment.
Right. And when you're working so hard at something that you've never really done before, I just felt, why is this not working? Like, what's going on? But I mean, you just have to be patient and trust the journey, trust the process. And it came off. Like, I feel great.
Yeah. So where are you at now?
About 25 pounds.
So, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What happens when we fuel our body. We do things with intent.
Yes.
And
honestly, too, for me, you always told me in the gym, summer's coming up, Jill. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with your meals? What are you going to do? You're a harper.
it's just,
but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
It's because I know the season.
Now you're Bob Harper.
Yeah.
So you would, you got to do that. And you know what? Honestly, I've been fine because, like you said, it's just a routine. Like, it's just, you automatically have in your head, okay, you wake up, you do this, you do that. It's like brushing your teeth or taking a shit. it's
Say shit or shower.
Shower. She meant to say shower.
what did I say? Did I say shit?
It sounded like it.
You started. You just did the
Shower.
taking
whatever. We're taking a shit.
Just
Whatever.
want to make sure. Yeah, whatever.
or any of that.
It's daily. It's fine.
It's our meal plans.
It's routine, but it's one of those routine things you have in your head. Like it's a checkoff. Did I eat my fruits? Did I eat my vet? You know, it's like you don't even almost think anymore because I just automatically, that's how I eat and that's how I prepare. And, you know, you're like summer, you've got baseball tournament. I mean, we are constantly out of state with baseball traveling. And at first I thought that was going to be hard, but honestly, it really has not been hard because I pack tons of fresh fruit for me and for my kid, you know, they eat too. I pack that. I pack my turkey sticks. I pack, you know, all the little Lara bars, the trail mix packs, it's all
The tools.
all there.
Yeah.
It's all there. And so I feel like it's not bad. And when we go out to eat with the team, because, you know, you're always going out to eat, I'm just very mindful of my options and what I choose to eat. And I'm not saying I deprive myself because I don't. I mean, if you deprive yourself, you can't. I mean, you just can't. I'm not going to lie. I drink. We go to these tournaments and I mean, we're throwing them back. I'm not going to lie. But I feel like you do everything else and it's fine to just have those one or two drinks or whatever you have if you're still conscious about and mindful about what you're doing all the way up to that point, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. And that's what we thrive to get people to. That's where I want people to live. Enjoy the hell out of yourself. Mm-hmm. But you still have to be mindful,
Right.
you know,
Balance.
80% of the time, whatever, Monday through Friday, be on point, be very routine. And that gives you some luxuries, you know, once you get your goals and stuff, then you have some freedom to enjoy yourself. And that's what life's all about, is that balance of having a good time, but still being structured at the same time.
Right.
Jessica, do you have any other questions for Jill?
I do. I want to reverse a little bit and go back to the beginning with your gymxiety.
Oh,
And now, because this is a big problem for a lot of people. So when you walked into the gym for the very first time, how did that feel for you? And were you made to feel comfortable? Did you feel like, okay, I can do this when you walked out that door?
Honestly, I was very nervous at first. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous.
Yeah.
She helped me because she was there. I mean, if you have that one, you know, person.
Or coach.
Right. You know, I mean, it makes a world of a difference. So when I saw Mare, it was fine. And, you know, I think there was another new one that was there with me, Selena. She was there.
Selena may have been just starting.
And so we had just kind of started. She wasn't there the first time. I don't think I was there. But it was nice to have like a newbie, you know, too. And she...
There's always a newbie.
There always is. And it's, I mean, you kind of put us together all the time, or, you know, we kind of would be together, or I'd be off and you would work with me at the beginning. And honestly, I was shocked at how comfortable I did feel after that first day, because everybody's so welcoming. Everybody was so, I guess, patient and understanding with me as to, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand what you're saying or doing or wanting me to do, and just showing me and putting me at ease, I guess, to make me do. And I remember, you know, I started with a certain weight, and what I'm curling now and what I'm doing now, it's like, it's pretty impressive.
It is.
I mean, I'll go home and I'll tell Nathan, I'm like, guess what I bench pressed today? Not that, you know, he kind of laughs at me.
It
but
feels good,
I'm proud of
though.
myself.
And
And
you
I want
should
him
be.
to know that, hey, look what I'm doing.
Look at what
me.
mom can do.
Right?
Because mom was always the back burner before.
Right.
But now you're right up there with everyone. and
It's
it
like,
feels
you
good.
know, moms put everybody else first. That's just what moms do or should do. And that's what, and it's like one
Don't
of
get him
these.
started.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like,
I can do both.
I'm doing it now. This is my time. This is what I'm doing for me. Or putting more responsibility on them too. It's like, no, you do this, or no, I'm going to go for a walk now. Nope, I'm done. Mom's going for a walk. Mom's doing this. So it's kind of changed my mindset of, nope, they'll be okay without me. I'm just going to leave for an hour or whatever, and they can fend for themselves. They can do whatever. And, Haley, she'll go on walks with me now, and she'll do stuff, which is kind of a fun little
And
thing
that's
to
where
do.
I was going to go next.
I'm not going to let this go.
I know, we would just keep talking forever.
You said this is what, as mothers, this is what we should do, is put everybody else first. And I would have to argue with you
Of course
to
you
the
would.
fullest degree. And
You
that's,
opened it. It's Pandora's box.
It's open. It's open. Bring it on.
since you've started to put yourself farther forward, how much better off is your family now than they were before you did this for yourself?
Because mom's happy now.
And what
And
happened?
when mom's happy, everybody's happy, right?
But
And those habits.
and what
too.
else?
And those, who
Like,
else is
well,
using those
and-
was your
habits?
daughter walking
She's-
before?
No.
Oh, so now she's doing
Was
better
she running
things.
5Ks before?
No.
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 So now they're learning.
They are learning. And she is like, I'll look at stuff and I'll like kind of flip the thing over and read,
Labels.
She'll be like, Mom, this has so many calories. One day she made me breakfast in bed, and she had a little cup of syrup poured out, and she's like, Mom, I read the back and this was X amount of calories. So I think you can have it, Mom. And I'm like, so she's like
Learning and
learning
understanding.
and knowing that I'm trying to watch things and be mindful of things. And she made me breakfast and was mindful as well. So it was sweet.
And works out with you when you're outside.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's huge.
again, just like I said, you would. That's not actually true. You putting everybody first isn't really the best thing for your family. Being ahead and being healthy and taking
Right.
care of yourself first makes everybody else
Absolutely.
better in the family. So
That was her mindset
Yeah.
before.
Right.
so
Yes.
before.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that was
Yes.
clear that
That is clear.
because it's an important message for moms to understand that you should not put everybody else first. And
Right.
if you make
and that's
yourself
just
a
what's
priority,
ingrained in our brains. That's just mom
Can't
has
pour
to
from an
take
empty
care.
cup.
I was
Right.
just going to say that.
Right.
You cannot pour from an empty cup. And let me tell you, I suffered for so many years with that. I couldn't give anything else to anyone else at the end of my day, let alone give myself the grace to give myself the permission to be okay with doing what I wanted to do.
And that's where the mindset coaching comes in.
good thing. Just give us guys a chance. May
Please
not
give
be,
them a chance.
Absolutely.
may not be the way you like it specifically, but it'll probably get done in some way.
Right.
So,
Or tell the kids to do it.
Right.
well, anyways, thank you to the two badass moms and teachers for coming on
you.
today and sharing your story. I know people are going to love this, and we're going to get a lot of great feedback. And I promise you guys sharing your stories today is going to impact somebody for sure. And they're going
I hope so.
they're going to make a change based on hearing your guys' story. So,
And
You can do it. You're worthy of it.
You
So
can-
do it for yourself.
And like you said, if you can find a friend, I think it made it easier for me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for Mayor.
Or you can find a new
cute.
friend at the gym.
That's you
can find a new
you
friend at the
could.
gym.
You could.
I'll be your friend.
I started out all alone. I was all right.
thanks again,
Yeah.
and can't wait to
you.
get this out to everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.